Am I the asshole for telling my cleaner to get off the phone? So I have a replacement cleaner today, as my usual cleaner is on vacation. I have them come in for 2 hours, which is usually enough for RHE whole apartment. Unfortunately, today's cleaner was very slow and barely did anything. I'm fine with them listening to music or whatever as long as they get the job done. I'm doing home office while she's cleaning. The cleaner was loudly talking into her phone the entire time. After about 70 millions I had a call, so I asked her to stop being on the phone. She called me an ungrateful BTCH and left smiling face with tear. Which brings me back to my question, am I the asshole for telling her to stop being on the phone? I'm a self-employed house cleaner and you are definitely not the asshole. On occasion, I will take a phone call, but I put it on speaker, set it down and keep working. I never do that if the homeowner is present because it's rude. I am able to multitask and keep working at my usual speed, but if it slowed me down, I would definitely not do it. Also, there are days where my RAW is affecting my ability to be as quick as usual, and on those days, my phone is on silent. I also don't charge my client if it takes me longer because it's my fault it's taking me longer. I would report her for her behavior and her disrespect. That is unacceptable. Also ask for a refund for that cleaning. Not the asshole. Are they both through the same company? Can you report her to try to get a refund? Not the asshole. Wait, what? Are you supposed to be grateful for her doing her job, the one that she is paid to do at a reasonable pace, and quietly? Tell regular cleaner that replacement was wholly unacceptable. I'm confused at why you're supposed to be grateful for her cleaning? Aren't you paying her? Not the asshole. I had a helper for my ill mom who was on her phone instead of doing her job. It's ridiculous and a poor work ethic. Not the asshole. You hired someone to clean, not to have a loud phone conversation while barely working. Asking her to get off the phone wasn't unreasonable, her reaction was. Am I the asshole for not making an effort with my friend's baby while her and I were in a fight? I, 25F, am child-free, so maybe there is some aspect of parenthood that I'm missing here. My friend Stacy, 26F, had her first baby about 9 months ago, Haley. Stacy and I had some tension brewing in our friendship since she was pregnant. In the past, my time and energy had been very much available to Stacy. At times I felt that she took advantage of my empathy and willingness to bend over backwards for her. She lived about an hour away, and was always in some form of drama or crisis. I drove up to be with her nearly every single weekend, and the times when I told her I couldn't for one reason or another, she would beg and usually guilt me with things like, I'm in such a dark place. I don't know what I'll do if I'm alone. I really need this. She also did a lot of passive-aggressive shutting down from conversation when she didn't get what she wanted, leading me to always give in and put my own needs aside. This went on for years. I grew tired of this pattern and started therapy, where I learned to set healthy boundaries, speak up, and prioritize myself when it was important. These changes led me to cut the weekends I spent with her in half. I was in the process of buying a house, starting a new job and master's program, on top of family issues. I knew that she saw the change in our friendship and wasn't happy about it, but thought that with time she would understand and adjust. She never did, and insinuated that I changed because I didn't support her pregnancy or because my partner was manipulating me into not spending time with her. I explained to her many times that this wasn't the case and that I am doing all I can to be there for her. Things came to a head when I had a health scare. I told her about it, and the next day she tried to call me. I was on the phone with someone else and couldn't answer, but texted her immediately after to let her know and make sure that everything was okay. She once again got upset because I didn't answer right away, and I had it. On the very rare occasion that I asked for support from her, she had to make it about herself. I didn't usually call her out, but this time I did. I told her I didn't understand why she had an attitude. She said, "Thanks for making me cry," and then didn't respond to me for over a month. Then, when she finally did, she didn't ask about my health. She didn't apologize or even bother explaining. She instead accused me of using her daughter as a pawn by not acknowledging her. She said that Haley didn't deserve absolutely no effort just because her and I were in a fight, and that it was so messed up that I would add Haley into the equation. I'm so confused. Haley had nothing to do with the fight, and Stacy was the one who had ignored me for over a month. What was I supposed to do in this scenario? I can't text a 9-month-old or just show up at their house. I'm genuinely lost. Can someone please explain this to me? Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Her old manipulative tricks don't work anymore, so she is trying new ones. You do know, don't you, that most friendships, even healthy ones, end over time? People just grow apart, move in different directions, or in this case, one friend finally gets fed up with the other's behavior. You don't owe her anything, so walk away completely and avoid her entirely. Not the asshole, not you're responsible at all. She turned the situation into a guilt trip, making it about her daughter when the real issue is her not respecting you. You can't make an effort with a baby who has no relationship with you. and her ignoring you for a month only made things worse. Not the asshole. I've had this situation with people too. You're in a one-sided friendship and she expects you to be at her beck and call. Not sure this is fixable considering how she's acting. I would start distancing yourself. She is not adding value to your life, she is creating drama and stress. Not the asshole. She's toxic. I'd just drop the friendship entirely. NTA. Sounds like she has a pattern of expecting you to bend over backwards for her and never respects her boundaries. She's acting like you're not trying to be there for her, but you were dealing with a lot too. She's the one who shut down communication for a month and now is blaming you for not putting in the effort with her baby when it was her who pulled back. Not the asshole. Drop the emotional vampire. Am I the asshole for telling my siblings about my sister stealing our inheritance before I confront my sister? Don't get me wrong, I've tried to ask her many times about probate, which she refused to do with excuses there wouldn't be enough money to recover to make probate worth it. And she's also been asked multiple times about a specific inheritance my mother came into when my mother was actively dying. When I discovered the circumstances and amount of the money left, it was obvious my sister, the executor, the POA and caretaker, hid this from us and that it would have been a life-changing amount of money for each of the beneficiaries on my mother's will, which states equal splits. We are going to confront her about this and give her the opportunity to fess up and make right to each sibling with the remaining amount and not even be penalized for what she's spent, so long as she's compliant and upfront. Honestly, I just feel like an asshole wishing there was another way to handle it and fearing she will always resent me for outing this secret. Am I the asshole for not giving her a chance to fix it before sharing info with my siblings, even though she's already lied so many times about it and I didn't feel she'd admit it in this approach? Update. Thanks to everyone who responded. I appreciate the help getting in the right headspace about this. I finally have documented physical evidence now showing there is still quite a lot of dollar left, just had to get on a plane and return to my mother's house to fortunately find a paper trail. Will update again. Update. My siblings and I have developed how we want to approach this with her and the oldest is traveling into town as we speak so we are doing this in 4 hours. We have a lawyer on retainer. If she shows anything but full compliance, we will be forced to continue with legal action which includes removing her as executor and trying to validate the old will which divides the house 4 ways as well. I stayed up all night photographing documents proving her abuse of power of attorney, fraudulent actions and her self-serving interests in hiding assets. She will be returning soon to my mom's house, the house left to her in the possibly forged will but which is not in her name yet so she does not have possession of, which is when we will confront her. My sister has appeared kind and even generous, at times to her friends and to her family. If there wasn't actual evidence proving these actions, no one that ever met her would believe she could be capable of this. Update. After the initial shock of confrontation, my sister broke down in tears and spat out some swan-song final lie about my mother's wishes being that she keep the money and keep it a secret. However, she also said she never intended on allowing this money to not be split, but instead wanted to allow it to appreciate for a little longer to increase its total value before surprising us with our inheritance. Honestly, I know she's lying about that to save face, maybe she believes that because it makes her feel better. It truly doesn't matter anymore why or what happened now that she is showing us account information and agreeing to the amounts she will begin transferring to each of us tomorrow after we all get to talk to her financial advisor. Legal action scared her and I'm grateful these funds will be recovered. To the rest of it, let sleeping dogs lie. You may say I should still pursue legal recourse but since this money is all I wanted to recover, I don't care about anything else. I will absolutely keep updating on the progress. If anything goes wrong, legal recourse will be taken. P.S. Of course she said she wishes I would have come to her first as she obviously would have cleared up the misunderstanding. As if. Update. My sister opened our conversation this morning with trying to get me on a flight home. She's completely changed her mind now and is pursuing legal action. So are we. I'm so angry right now. Not the asshole. You should not only tell your siblings first, you should also, all of you, contact your own probate lawyer for advice before speaking to your sister. Am I the asshole for not giving her a chance to fix it before sharing info with my siblings? You have already given her a chance. She has had many chances, the many times you've asked and she's lied. I am the administrator for my mother's estate as well, and we are going through probate currently. It's extremely nice of you to even offer her the opportunity to confess. I would be so fucking ashamed of myself if I did this to my sisters. All of you should be on the same page. I'm sorry she's doing this to you, and of course, I am so sorry for the loss of your mother as well. Not the asshole. The only thing she needed to fix, in the first place was her siblings' ignorance about the actual amounts owed to them. Context clues conclude she has had more than enough time to fess up and hand over your proper splits. Not the asshole. Honestly though, I have a hard time believing she's gonna fork over that money, admit to what she did. People that are willing to do this to their own family aren't likely to own up to it unless they're legally forced to. If I'm you, I'm involving the police, courts. Not the asshole. This is illegal. You should see a lawyer about this since this is unacceptable and ignorant. Why would a grown adult keep a significant amount of money from her past mother and not follow a will? I wish you the best and may you live well. Not the asshole, and I think some haste is warranted. You can't get the money if there's no money. You don't know if your sister has spent it all or put it somewhere you'll have difficulty finding. Nope, I would be very vocal about that as well. If it was meant for all of you, they all should know. Am I the asshole for refusing to give my parents money? I am very angry right now, so please excuse any incoherency. I will try my best to explain everything clearly. My parents have always had the habit of giving away or lending money to people who very rarely give them their money back. My parents never learned their lesson and have lost a lot of money because of it and just wave it off by saying, God will bless us be freaking s. Yes, they're your typical Bible-thumping middle-class white people in a red state. They accuse me of being stingy because I don't throw away my money like they do. Sorry for being sensible. Now my father is scheduled to have eye surgery and he needs money. They've come knocking on my door. I told them I will give them the money if they called up all the people they lent money to and recovered at least half of what they gave away. They called me an asshole and said I was going to hell. They gave away my college fund to some guy who wanted to go work in Denmark, and I had to work 2 jobs to put myself through college, and now I work in like one of the top 4 car companies in the country. No thanks to them. So excuse me for being annoyed. TLDR. Parents want my money after they practically threw away theirs. You are not the asshole. They should call the guy in Denmark for help. Not the asshole. Now my father is scheduled to have eye surgery and he needs money. They've come knocking on my door. This is God telling you not to second guess what he chose to do to your eye. I'd say, I prayed on this long and hard, and God said I should not give you the money. He said he intended for you to reap what you have sowed, and all those you blessed with money should come forward now. Not the asshole. Petty me would respond to them saying something like, you told me God will bless you, and I'm not God. Not the asshole. They gave away their money to people who didn't pay them back, but they had nothing for you, their own child. And now that they need money, they come begging to you. Their generosity never extended to you, you owe them nothing. Not the asshole. God gave you this eye problem as a lesson to not be so stupid with your money. I'm not about to interfere with his lesson.